Outside Old Trafford, Manchester United have drew 0-0 with Wolves. It was all about Bruno today.
It was.
What did you make of his debut?
He was class. He really shown his class. I don't know if he's man of the match, but he's shown class touches, even his shots. Andres Pereira takes them shots and you're like, but every single shot threatened and looked decent.
There's one of them, the keeper, and he chucked in his own net as well.
Yeah, I mean, he must have put some sting on it for that to happen. You could see him launching. There was 2 minutes to go. Mason made a run, and it was probably one of the only runs one of our forwards has made off the ball. And he spotted him, and he pinged one right over the top for him, and it was brilliant. And you go, that's exactly what we're here to see, innit? That's what you buy someone like Bruno for, to unpick a lot. When the forwards are static, what are you going to do? I thought James was shit tonight. I thought Marshall was shit tonight. I thought Macca didn't really do much. Pereira was shit. Like, there was a lot of players that didn't really step up to the level of what was around him. I thought they all just looked, bar Fred, they all just was like, right, Bruno, but do some shit now.
There was a lot of players out there, but a lot of imbalance, wasn't there? Because Pereira, you don't know what he is. Macca, you don't know what he is, but they're not wingers. Daniel James, I don't think he delivers enough from the wider positions. And when we're playing those teams that aren't giving him the space in behind, he's not having much success. And as a result, nothing's really happening, and there's not much cohesion there. We spoke about a style of play before with you, but there doesn't look to be many patterns, and we need to, now Bruno's here, hopefully we can work on that in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we saw some real nice touches from him, and there was times where things were being made to happen by him, but I think we're massively lacking. I mean, look, Luke Shaw's just not good enough, mate. He's not good enough defensively.
Strange one with him starting today.
It just makes no sense. You're like, what has Brandon done for you to drop him? Because that's a dropping in it. Like, you don't rotate in a league game like this. Every opportunity that we get put in front of us to take a run at top four, we go, nah.
That's why we're not getting it, though, right?
Everyone else around us, that shit, we might.
But Chelsea have dropped points again, and we've dropped points again.
Yeah, exactly. Matching them.
Really, by now we should have overtaken them.
Yeah, overtaken them, or at least been within a win of them by next week. Wan-Bissaka with the ball at his feet, he's just not doing it, and I don't know how bad he needs to look. I thought actually in the first half when Bruno was sort of playing in the 10, I thought he was helping him out on the right-hand side a little bit. He was in that right-hand channel where no one basically goes for United. And I thought he looked a little bit better then because he looked like he had more options. But once we moved him back at the 6 and we started moving Pereira around, just trying to figure out where the fuck he could cause the least damage for us. It's just one of them. He didn't do anything, Shaw didn't do anything, and we were pretty much looking at the new shiny toy and going, oh, do something.
Where did you prefer him, in the deeper position that he occupied in the second half, or in the more advanced position that he occupied in the first half?
A bit of a mix, to be honest. I don't think having him that far back, you're going to see the shots that we saw from him or the final touches. I want to see him as a number 8. I want to see us go to a midfield 3 and play him alongside a decent midfield. And I think he'd be happy days.
There was supposed to be a walkout today. Well, there was talk of a walkout today. I'm not saying there was supposed to, because not everyone said they were doing it. But what happened? Obviously, no one really walked out. Why do you think that was?
I don't know. There was obviously talk of people saying, like, let's do it in the 58th minute. And some people thought that was disrespectful to the babes. I didn't really necessarily agree or disagree with that. I was just like, well, we don't really ever do anything in the 58th minute anyway. Although today there was a big stand up for the Busby babes for the whole, for a couple of minutes around the 58th minute.
And that's what believed was to be the plan. 58th, have that, and then 68th, have the walkout. And
supposedly, Supposedly, yeah. I mean, I don't even know who was behind it. I have no idea who was the people that set it up, and I think we just said the same thing to you. Like, got in and spoke to the lads around us and were like, we haven't it, what? And it was like, yeah, probably have it if everyone looks.
I was of the opinion that I'll do it if I'm not like one of 5 people walking out, because then it doesn't work, does it? It's not what it's there for. But there was just doesn't seem to be any appetite for it.
No, I reckon. I mean, I was having a look and I was like,
and even the Glazer and the Woodward songs died down a bit.
Yeah, they did coincidentally around there. I mean,
we were just focusing on the babes today, and that's why it was.
I don't know. Look, the idea for the walkout wasn't mine, it wasn't yours. It was just something that sort of got cooked up. I think Musk threw out an email on Thursday saying if you're going to do it in the 68th, not the 58th. And then
they asked everyone's opinions, but then we didn't get a result of that. Like, okay, is the opinion we're going to do it or not? Do you think that should dishearten those that want to make their voices heard and protest against the owners?
I don't know, mate. I don't speak for fans. I'm just a fan. I'll just, like I said,
should we keep? It should keep.
I'm explaining. I don't know. I don't speak on behalf of any fucking fans. That's what Must is meant to do. That's why they are the supporters' trust. So really, any sort of message that's anti-this, that and the other should be coming from the supporters' trust, not from me or you. We're just fucking fans at the end of the day. And it didn't feel like there was any sort of clear message. And even though there was probably about a week's worth of run-up to it, it never felt like this is what we're fucking doing. It wasn't like one of the matches that we've had in the past where you actually felt, yeah, this is something we're getting behind. There was more questions than there was statements about it. And like I said, with Musk throwing out the message like, is everyone feeling like we're going to go out here? It'd have been more effective if Musk was like, oh, if you're supporting this fucking protest, walk out on a 68. Sound?
What did you make of obviously the result 0-0? Top 4 race not really happening. We've got in a striker, we've got in this creative midfielder. It's obviously going to put a pin in the balloon a little bit, but is there any positives to cling on to for that?
In terms of what? In terms of top 4?
The rest of the season.
I don't know. Like I said, mate, I think everyone's that shit that there's still a hope. While you're a couple of wins away from getting it, you might get it. Because Chelsea are shit, they're in free fall. I mean, you've got to look over your shoulder a little bit at Spurs, you've got to look over your shoulder a little bit at Wolves, let's be honest with ourselves. And it's going to be who's the least shit out of all those teams that are in the mix for it, rather than who's going to look brilliant in the running, because guess what, I don't think any of us are going to look brilliant.